This is Ed Petke with the Americans in Wartime Experience. Today's date is June 4th, 2022, and I had the privilege of conducting an interview with Mr. Jim Breij in Reading, Pennsylvania at the Mid-Atlantic Air Museum's World War II weekend. Sir, would you please give us your full name and where you were born?
My name is Jim Breij, and I'm lived in Montgomery County, Pennsylvania, born in Sellersville, Pennsylvania, currently reside in Southampton, New Jersey.
And what war did you participate in?
Vietnam. I was in Vietnam 1965, 66. I joined the Marine Corps in 1964, and I stayed in for 4 years and got out 1968.
Do you have any other military veterans in your family?
My father was a Korean veteran in the Army, and he was there 1945, the year I was born. He wanted me to go in the Army, but I wanted to go into the best. So I went in the Marine Corps.
How did Dad feel about that?
He didn't like it.
I'm sure he had no problem telling you either.
You're crazy. But I was a high school graduate going nowhere. I was working in a ladies' handbag factory. I didn't want to go to college, but I wanted to do something for the country. I couldn't spell Vietnam 1963 when I graduated, but I talked to a recruiter and he sucked me right in. I had a great recruiter. He ran with me before I went to boot camp, and he told me the best tip I could ever get in my life is when you go to boot camp, keep your mouth shut. And I was a talkative kind of guy, so it was hard for me, but that's why he told me that, and I remember that to this day.
And it probably served you well.
Right straight through boot camp. No delays, no setbacks, and I'm not a big guy, I'm not a big Marine, but he taught me how to run, how to breathe, and how to keep my mouth shut. Marines taught me how to shoot. They wanted me to be a sniper when I got to boot camp, because I'd put them right in that center, in that bullseye, because I had never fired a high-powered rifle before.
No bad habits.
No bad habits. I didn't flinch. I had all the breathing down, and I had enough nerve to tell the instructor, I don't want to be a sniper. I have aviation guaranteed, because I wanted to fly there. I didn't want to go through the jungle.
Okay, I got you.
So I enlisted for 4 years, and that's what I got, aviation guaranteed.
Aviation guarantee. So,
Yep.
So just step back for a second. You enlisted rather than being drafted.
Well, I enlisted. I didn't want to go to college. I certainly wasn't going to Canada. I wasn't a draft dodger. I wanted to be an American patriot. I am to this day.
Absolutely. So, when you went to the recruiter to talk about entering into the military, was the sense of pride there at that point of doing what you were about to do, or did that come later?
I think so, because I talked to a recruiter in high school. They come in to give you a spiel, and then they set up a table. So I got the idea of it at that time, and then I wasn't going to college, and I thought military was the thing for me to do. My dad did it, so I thought I could do it. I wanted to do it.
Where did you have your training?
Paris Island.
The Yellow Footprints.
Yellow Footprints. Quite a time I had there.
Yeah.
Because I'm not a big guy, and I had a hard time doing all the exercises and all the physical training. But again, I could fire the rifle, and my mind was set to be a Marine, get straight out, keep my mouth shut. I could keep my mouth shut. So if that's what it took.
Right.
So I got in there, and again, like I said, they wanted me to be a sniper. I said, no, I got aviation guaranteed. I didn't know what that meant, other than I wanted to get a trade. They then sent me to Memphis, Tennessee, after boot camp. Memphis, Tennessee was a Navy base where they taught Marines how to fix airplanes.
Okay.
I excelled in that, in fixing airplanes and jet engines. They then put me in jet helicopters, I thought, well, this is fine. I'll get another trade. Here again, I didn't know about Vietnam. I couldn't spell Vietnam even to that date.
Right.
I couldn't swim. That was a problem. They taught me how to swim.
Okay.
They just threw me in a pool.
Sink or swim?
Down there, sink or swim.
Yeah.
So I finally did that. So I qualified to be a jet engine helicopter mechanic.
Okay.
And then after Memphis, Tennessee, went home again, and then went to Santa Ana, California. That's where I joined up with a squadron brand new squadron being formulated with jet helicopter aircraft. They're 46s, CH-46 cargo helicopter 46 Alpha. These were helicopters that the Marines were just purchasing. So we were building this squadron. Matter of fact, I crewed two 46s from Morton, Pennsylvania, where they were built, to Santa Ana, California.
Wow.
And you could only fly during the day, no higher than 5,000 feet. Great trip.
Long trip.
Yeah, it took us a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, one trip, we went down, one of the pilots was from New Orleans. So we flew from Philadelphia to Virginia to New Orleans. And you know what? That helicopter broke. I couldn't figure out what was wrong with it. For 3 days and the damn Mardi Gras was going on at the same time.
Wow, funny how that happens, huh?
Till the old man out in California called the pilot up and said, "Fix that damn helicopter and get your ass out here to California." So it fixed it. Fixed it right up, started right up the next day. Funny thing. And
darndest thing.
went to Yuma, Arizona on the way to California, and that was it.
So you got to see the country at 500 feet.
It's beautiful. In the Grand Canyon,
Oh, wow.
out of the Grand Canyon,
Wonderful.
throwing Coke bottles on trains, buzzing the trains.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we weren't supposed to be doing that
Right.
stuff. But
you're young.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm 19 years old. Never would I have dreamed of doing something like that when I was back home in Pennsylvania.
Right.
Never would have dreamed that I would be doing that. Here again, I didn't know how to spell Vietnam. I thought I was just going to do helicopter things in Santa Ana, California, and until the word came down that we were going to be the first squadron to take that type of helicopter to Vietnam.
So how long after you got out of boot camp, or actually after you got out of your training for the mechanics, are you getting orders to go to Vietnam?
I spent about 9 months in Santa Ana, California after training while we were building the squadron. I was there when there was 5 helicopters. We were tasked to get 26. So all this time we're training new people how to be a crew chief, how to be a mechanic, how to change an engine, how to change a rotor head, how to change a transmission, all that goes in with a helicopter. And training new people to come in and fly around California. So we were flying in and out, up and down the coast, getting our flight time in, learning how to troubleshoot problems on the helicopter.
Okay.
And then when our orders came down that we were going to be going over to Vietnam, we loaded up our whole squadron, lock, stock, and barrel. Everything we could get out of that hangar, we put in those helicopters and loaded them on a ship in Long Beach. I don't remember what the name of the station was, it doesn't matter. Long Beach, California. Put them all on there, 24 of them. All the personnel loaded on that ship and went to Pearl Harbor after that.
What did you think of Pearl?
On the way to Nam. I didn't see much. We were only there for 2 days.
Okay.
And
but the historic significance of being in Pearl Harbor.
That's right.
As a military.
And here again, 19 years old.
Yeah.
I knew about Pearl Harbor. I saw Pearl Harbor. I seen what happened in Pearl Harbor, and we just couldn't take enough of it in.
Sure.
While we were.
Right. You had other things on your mind.
We weren't on the bottom of that ship when we were running to Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
We were up on the deck.
Right.
We were taking it all in.
Sure.
And we're here again. We're 19 years old. Yeah, we're going to war room. We didn't know where we're going. What's war?
Right. Yeah.
So we loaded up ammo. So then it started to be the realization set in that wait a minute, we're taking live bullets here.
Mm.
And the guns, we got the guns in Pearl. We didn't get them in Long Beach.
Okay.
So they loaded the guns. We gave the guns. We put them on the helicopter and said, "Oh yeah, this is the real deal here."
Yeah. So it's a
So-
sink in.
After we left Pearl, we got permission where we could start shooting sharks
Oh, okay.
to zero in we had 50 calibers. These are 50 calibers with rounds about that long.
Yep.
It does the job on a tuna or a shark.
Sure
or what.
does.
Once they start bleeding, then you got blood in the water. You got more sharks to shoot. We shot all our ammo. We ran out of ammo. We had to go to Subic Bay, Philippines, to get more ammo.
And this was the ammo you were supposed to be bringing over.
Yeah, we got to do a detour. We had to learn how to shoot,
Sure.
so
Yeah.
we were having fun with it.
Right.
And we also realized that the helicopter that Boeing had built, they put mounts for these guns, and the mounts weren't strong enough because they put 50 calibers on there, and a 50 caliber kicks.
Mm-hmm.
Boom, 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 boom. So we were starting to tear up our airframes.
Oh.
So we realized we had a problem. Boeing sent, I don't remember what these guys were called. They were Boeing civilians that were sent with our squadron, so that if we had a problem with a switch, we had a problem with this, that, or a seal that we couldn't figure out what the problem was. These Boeing experts were supposed to be able to do that. I think there was 3 of them with our squadron. They were in Vietnam. They were on the beach
Wow.
with us in Vietnam. They flew right in there with us. They never went out in the jungle with us, but they were back at our home base in Marble Mount,
Just in case.
just in case we had a problem.
Did you ever have to use those guys?
Many times. They also realized a lot of things. The gun mounts were strong enough that we had no armor plating, none whatsoever on that aircraft. So they sent us seats for the pilots. Of course, they didn't send any for the crew chiefs. We were only warm bodies.
Right.
So we started standing on our flak jackets because we were getting bullets up through the floor of these. So we didn't have armor plating on the engines. We had armor plating on the pilots. The engines were critical because these were jet engines. We had 2 jet. I keep pointing this way because the engines are in the back of the helicopter. The jet engine couldn't take a bullet. If it got a bullet in it, the engine would blow up. Normally, depending on where it hit. So they put the armor plating on. They put screens on the intakes because it was so sandy and dusty. We were sucking in sand in our engines and tearing up our engines. Excuse me. So that was interesting that they sent a squadron over there, and to me, we weren't ready to go over there. We shouldn't have been over there, but I think it was more of a publicity to send a jet squadron over there, more Marines. It was the time of the years that were escalating, sending more troops. And most of us grew up real fast. 18, 19-year-old kids going to combat.
It gets real quick.
Real quick. When you pick up a guy's boot and his foot's still in it, you realize what you're doing out there.
Right.
So we had a chance that some guys extended over there. Some of them extended because then they wouldn't have enough time when they come back stateside. They wouldn't be sent back. Myself, I had just extended for 3 months. I didn't fly as much as I did the first 12 months because it gave me enough time where I wouldn't be sent back. I did not want to come back. I wouldn't have come back.
Right.
I got out.
Okay.
After 4 years. I went back, and the protesters were gone. We had a problem with the landing when we came out. They picked us up in Da Nang, Vietnam, and they took some of these Marines right out of the jungle. These guys, they hosed them down and put them on these airplanes. At least us air wing guys, we got a chance to decompress, if you will,
Right.
5, maybe 6 days before they put us on those airplanes. But some of these Marine guys, I felt so sorry for those stewardesses. They were just terrible.
Yeah.
But then we realized we had this long flight, and then they told us we couldn't land in, I think our parents, and we were going to Long Beach or LA, it doesn't matter. We couldn't land, but all of our folks were there because of the protesters. And we had a colonel on the plane. He says, just put this airplane down on the ground, let these Marines out, they'll take care of the runway. No, we can't do that. That's all we need.
Right.
We'll have a riot out there, we'll have Marines killing people. So they flew us in a different airport, but all of our folks were up at this other airport. So eventually I got back and got my head on straight, got the GI Bill, got my college degree in accounting. I joined the New Jersey Air National Guard. I did 22 years with the New Jersey National Guard as an aircraft mechanic. It was on F-16s, F-100s. I didn't have to fly, so I was good with that. And I did 4 years in the Marine Corps, 22 years in the National Guard. I'm a retired military veteran. I'm 100% disabled. I got PTSD bad. I have systemic heart disease from Agent Orange. I'm happily married. I got 2 wonderful kids, 3 grandsons, and I'm living life to the fullest right now.
Fantastic.
Without going to jail. I'm being a good boy.
Good to hear that.
Fly the flag.
Fly the flag. So, if you allow me to circle back for a second.
I give you enough to chew on. you asked me.
The CH-46s that you were working on, the new ones that we're going over. For those who don't know what that kind of aircraft is, everybody's got the iconic view of the Huey, of what that looked like in Vietnam.
That's right.
What is this helicopter?
A Huey, if you look at some of those Vietnam movies, a Huey puts maybe, let's say 6 Marines, and the air crew, you got 2 pilots, the gunners. Let's say you had 6 to 8 Marines in those. We would take 16, maybe 14 Marines in our chopper, and we had our chopper, the Marines would go in and out of the back.
Okay.
We had ramps that would go down. They would go out, or in some cases we would go over the grass, and we would tell them, here you are, it's your stop, see ya.
So kind of like what the Chinooks were?
We were a smaller version of the Chinooks.
Okay.
Boeing Vertol built both aircraft. The Marines had that smaller tricycle. Chinook had 4 landing gears. We had a tricycle, single landing gear with 2 in the back.
Okay.
They wanted the Marine choppers to be more versatile, less cumbersome, less space, if you will, with the blades.
Okay. Was it a
twin rotor
or twin rotor?
Twin rotor. Helicopters, if you notice, helicopters always have 2 rotors, one place or the other. They have a big one in the front and a little in the tail.
Right.
Or they have 2 big ones.
Okay.
It's to keep it from twisting around.
Right.
On its own axis.
So this one was 2 big ones, or the big and small?
2 big ones.
Okay.
2 big ones.
Gotcha.
2 triple blade rotor heads, they're called.
Okay.
And we would paint one blade on the top of one blade white.
Okay.
So that when we went into a zone, you could see us down there. So if you're a fixed wing fighter or another helicopter, you knew where not to come in at, because you already got a helicopter down on the ground, and you could see that white blade. We learned that.
Yeah.
We didn't go over there with white blades. We just learned that.
That's learn on the fly stuff.
Oh, we did a lot of things.
Sure. Innovation.
I patched bullet holes because we couldn't patch them fast enough with stamped beer cans. I stamped them so flat I could put a rivet through them. So I would pop a rivet on the skin of the helicopter, put that beer can on there, and to reinforce the strength. I didn't want to lose the strength of the skin on the helicopter.
Sure.
And if I get
enough already.
Right. Exactly. And if the helicopter broke and it was down for maybe 3 or 4 or 5 days, then the 10 guys would fix take all that off.
And there was probably no shortage of beer cans.
No, definitely not. Matter of fact, we went to the reunion. It's not this short. We went to the last flight of our helicopters, a 46 helicopter, at the Smithsonian Institute in Washington. We watched that helicopter fly in, and it came in with this new Osprey with a tilt rotor right behind it. None of us guys would fly in that tilt rotor.
No.
I'll fly in that old leaky 46 that they just retired in there. And we were at that.
You knew every square inch of that helicopter.
Every square inch. I almost changed an engine by hand because we were out in the jungle. I didn't have all the tools, but I had grunts in there. We put it up there, the new one in there, by hand. I put the pins in it. I didn't do any safety wire. I didn't do any torquing.
Let's go.
Let's go. I'm ready to go. I'll take care of everything. We get back to base.
Right, sure.
So I had to take it all out again and do it all torque
Yeah.
wrenches and everything. But
Made it back to base.
you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, innovation.
19 years old. 20 years old.
Like you said, grow up fast. You gain a lot of information and knowledge. It's amazing. Yes, you become a sponge.
Everything. Your discipline is key.
Right.
Listen, think on your feet, be a human being, be a man, be an American. Don't leave anybody behind.
Good mantras to live by.
I
Very
live,
good.
I live by that today. We went to get some guys we no way should have been out there, but they were out there.
Yeah.
They were on the ground, and they were getting their butt shot off. We're back here drinking beer. We're coming.
Yeah.
I mean, we weren't drinking beer. If we were on duty,
Right.
we always had 2 helicopters, pins pulled, ready to go.
Right.
Everything but flip the switch and start those engines. It was all inspected. Everything was good. The guns were loaded. Everything. We always had two helicopters ready to go.
So when you first get over there, where were you stationed first? What part of Vietnam were you
We
in?
went. Our ship came in Da Nang.
Mhm.
I guess that's harbor of Da Nang Airport, whatever. They had a flight line at Da Nang Air Force Base, but they wanted us on the beach. They wanted us helicopter guys to set up on a new helicopter base. So they put us between Da Nang Air Force Base and the beach at Marble Mountain. So they put us out there in what is called Martian matting. They would bulldoze the sand and then just put this metal matting down, and that was our ramp. Excuse me.
Okay.
And it minimized the sand from blowing into the engines.
Okay.
So we were the first squadron that built that compound, if you will,
Right.
on Marble Mountain. We as the first 46 outfit in Vietnam stayed there. We went to different places, obviously, in Vietnam, South Vietnam.
Mhm.
But we stayed there. The next squadron, I think, went to south. The next 46 squadron came back where we were. The next one went south to Chu Lai. So we were in country eventually with 4 squadrons that had our kind of helicopters.
Okay.
They were starting to send them over there while the 4th squadron came with armor plating. They had all that all done. They didn't have to do that in Vietnam.
Okay.
We didn't
ready to
fly.
go.
We didn't fly when we were down for a while. That whole squadron, they downed us for a while in Vietnam because of the jet engines being torn up with the sand and no armor plating.
Okay.
So they put us down for a while.
At least they thought better about not having the armor, right?
Yeah.
Kind of necessary.
But here again, the crew chief didn't have any.
Right.
The engines did, the pilots did. What's wrong with this picture?
Kind of makes you feel like where your place is.
So,
So did you stay in that one base for pretty much your whole time?
what they did is maybe around the 6th month, they wanted to start dividing the squadron because of these new squadrons coming over. They didn't want every squadron to go through what we went through. They didn't want them all to be rookies.
Oh, yeah.
So the light bulb came on and said, what we're going to do is we're going to take 1/3 of our squadron and send them to this other squadron. I think that was a big mistake, but it made sense on
You can
on
see how
theory.
you might want to, sure.
But our guys didn't want to go over there and fly those helicopters.
Right.
We knew nothing about them. We knew nothing about those pilots. We knew nothing about one end of the helicopter to the other than it was the same type of helicopter.
Right.
But
You hadn't laid hands on them.
But we knew, I knew what my helicopter could do or couldn't do.
Right.
I knew where my bailing wire was and where my oil leak was and this, that, and the other thing. So these guys, reluctantly, they went.
Okay.
But some of them said, I'm done flying.
Okay.
Flying was voluntary. I mean, you didn't have to fly. You had to be in Vietnam.
Right.
You had to be a Marine.
Right.
You had to be there.
They were going to find something for you if you didn't want to fly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, you might be in the chow hall.
Yeah.
Or you might be in the hydraulic shop or the gun shop.
Right.
They'll find a job for you.
Right.
You're not
Might
going
be the
home.
job you want.
Yeah, exactly.
But what they say, every Marine's a rifleman.
Absolutely.
So There's always a spot. There's always something for you to do. They always have a place for
We
you.
have a hydraulic compartment right behind the crew chief's seat.
Mm-hmm.
In that hydraulic compartment usually was the crew chief's weapons. I had a grease gun, machine gun, I had my M14, and I had my 45. And I had my M2 machine gun, 50 cal.
Mm-hmm.
That was my main gun.
Okay.
When I was going out on a mission, I had my grease gun on my back, my 45 on my hip, and my M14 in the hydraulic compartment.
So you were a door gunner for a lot of the missions?
I was a crew chief. We took a door gunner.
Uh-huh.
We had a crew of 4. You had a pilot, co-pilot, a gunner, and a crew chief.
Okay.
Crew chief always flew, didn't always fly with his helicopter. Every crew had a crew chief.
Yeah.
Because you wanted to, if you were going out there in the jungle,
Yeah.
you wanted to make sure you knew somebody, or somebody knew the helicopter.
Yeah.
The gunner, I'm pointing this way because he's on the left side.
Mm-hmm.
He could be an office person.
Okay.
I like to go with hydraulics guy or an armorer. I didn't want my machine gun to jam, and if I had a leak, a hydraulic leak, I didn't want an office guy. I didn't want a gunny. I didn't want some high-ranking
Right.
guy. I wanted somebody who knew what if I needed it. I needed
Right.
information.
An expert of what you knew anticipated.
Yeah, exactly. I'm a crew chief. I knew that bird one end to the other, but I might not know this system.
Okay.
I know I got a leak here. I know how to fix it, but now what else do I have?
Doesn't hurt to have another guy with you.
No, as long
Never. Right.
as long as he shot first, I didn't care.
Right. Right.
And as long as he wasn't a hero, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Can I tell you a story quick?
Absolutely.
Small world story. I'm in a wedding reception, and I heard this little short guy, shorter than me. He was a Marine. He was a tunnel rat. That tells you a little bit about his personality and
Right.
a little bit off. He was bitching about this crew chief, or this crew, a helicopter crew, that drug him through the treetops. So he was bitching and moaning and groaning about this crew, and I don't know if he was wounded from that or otherwise, but a tunnel rat, whatever, regardless, I should stop. So I was pulling him up. We have a hole in the middle of our helicopter. It's a external hook
Okay.
if we want to lift up a Jeep or external loads.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if you take that hook out, you run a cable down through it, and you can rescue people. So you run this cable down. Crew chief operates it. Tell the pilot, you're on the microphone. You tell the pilot, you're over the target. Hover here. I'm going to lower the cable. So I lower the cable down. I lower the stretcher down. What I had as a stretcher.
Mm-hmm.
They put this guy on it, and I start bringing them up. They gave me the thumbs up. We were in a hot zone. These are Marines loading this guy. They had no clue how to put him on there. So I get him halfway up, and he starts slipping. So he starts coming up feet first. You know, he's puckering.
Oh yeah.
We're getting shot at. He's puckering. I'm puckering. I'm laying out on the floor trying to get this guy in. And I go down in the hole, and I grab his feet. And I got him. And I told the pilot, I got him. Let's go. Get the hell out of here. I didn't got him. I had him.
Yeah.
But we took him through the treetops.
Oh boy.
So we banged him up a little bit.
And that was the guy.
And that was the guy.
Oh my! What a
That's why I
world.
said, let me finish the story. But you're here to bitch about it, aren't you? Yes, I am. Thank you very much.
Yes. Wow.
But I'm 19 years old, 20
Yeah.
years old. It's just unbelievable how fast you mature.
Man.
And I don't tell that story. I don't know why I'm even doing that, but I feel pretty comfortable here. And my wife knows that story because she's related to that guy.
Oh.
That's this tunnel rat.
Okay.
That's why we were there at that wedding. And to this day, he gives me a hard time about it.
But
Still alive,
saved him.
and he's still alive
There you go.
to bitch about it. So, small world story in Vietnam.
Absolutely. So, how if you had to count, I don't know if you even could. How many missions do you think you went out on?
I had 120 plus. So, because I had 12 air medals, you get 10 missions. You get 1 medal for 10 missions.
Wow.
But you got a mission for resupply, meaning
Okay.
you took rice out. But You also got the hairy ones. You got a place called the rock pile. You go out there, you can only put one wheel of your helicopter on the ground, and you're telling the pilot, okay, we're there. It's the best I can do for you. So he's got to hold it, and I'm throwing ammo out the back, taking in the wounded with one landing gear on the top of a hill.
That's some skill right there.
Plus you're puckering.
And some pucker.
And I'm away from my machine gun.
Oh, yeah.
But if you go to a place like the rock pile, it's all good guys. There are only Marines there. Okay. Thank goodness. It's not like you're going into a rice paddy or something like that. So I felt pretty safe about that. But you're puckering in the back there. You're leaving it up to the pilot to do such a thing. Quezon was a mess. We were one of the first squadrons in Quezon. I felt so sorry for those guys out there in the rain, getting their ass shot up every night, and we were just going in there to take as much ammo as we could get. Cases and cases and cases of ammo.
As much as you can for them.
Yep. Food in a can. Did we take beer? I think we had to take beer to Quezon. Took it everywhere else.
Right. It's the least you could do, right?
Obviously, we stole some of it.
We won't tell anyone. So how many trips did you have to make in Quezon? Was it just one, or did you make?
No, we made. I was
a lot of resupply.
A lot of resupply. Once the compound was formulated, we did a lot of resupply there. Took a lot of troops in there. Took a lot of troops out, and Dongha. We ended up at Dongha, just south of the border, east of Quezon. We would go up there for maybe 3 or 4 days at a time. As long as the helicopter was flying and we could get fuel, we would do whatever we had to do. Ashaw Valley was another hot spot. I don't think I have any confirmed kills that I know of. I know I killed people though. If there was no good guys out there, I was going in hot.
Okay.
If you
soften the area.
If you got your head up with a 50 caliber coming at you, shame on you. If I know you're not a good guy, shame on you.
Right.
As long as I can get these guys out, get them safe, get them in, get them out, and we're out.
And you have that mindset of that's my mission. I guess at a certain point, you either don't think about it or you don't worry about your own safety, because you say, I have to get from here to here, and I have to do this and bring them back to here. You go on instinct.
I didn't think I could do that. No, I'm 19 years old. I never fired a high-powered rifle before. I never killed a person. I don't know if I could shoot you now, even if you were a bad guy in Vietnam. But I know that I shot bodies. I couldn't see their eyes. I could see 50 caliber coming at you. I know I was killing people.
Yeah. It's what you did. It's what you had to do.
We evacuated a village one time, and we were getting overrun. I couldn't control the people coming on. I pulled my .45 and I put it between the eyes of a bad guy, not bad guy, Vietnamese.
Yeah.
Could I have pulled that trigger? If he wasn't have stopped, I might have done that. I don't know.
Right.
But they were overloading the helicopter. I couldn't take off if you're going to overload it. Then I'm defeating the purpose of what I'm doing here.
Exactly.
They also got smart. They would pull a grenade. They'd pull the pin on a grenade, put it in a glass jar, and then they put the jar under a seat and put it behind our insulation, and eventually that jar would break and the grenade would go off. So eventually we got wise to that and we put all the insulation off the helicopter, and that way crew chiefs would be examining the behind the seats every load, every time we had suspected bad guys.
Different kind of war in that you didn't know who the enemy was a lot of times.
Definitely not. And we were taking rice out to people that they could have been Vietnamese.
Right.
North Vietnamese. I had no idea. They all wore pajamas. They all run their buffaloes. As fast as I could get out of that zone, I was out.
Right.
Get out of there. I felt sorry for some of those Marines that we left. We didn't leave behind, but we unloaded.
Yeah. Because you knew where you were taking them.
Yep.
And you knew what was going to happen.
Call us if you need us.
Yeah.
But if you don't call, fine. We're drinking beer. Had to be done.
Right.
Here again, 19 years old, 20 years old.
The growing up fast part. Were there any instances where you were injured or wounded or?
Nope.
Fantastic.
By my head,
Yeah.
between my legs, ricocheted off my machine gun. But never drew blood.
God willing.
Yeah. He was with me.
Yeah. I mean.
I prayed every night.
And you know, it goes to that. There are no atheists in foxholes. There are no atheists in war zones. And again, it goes to that 18, 19 years old, growing up.
Yeah.
And molded you and made you the man you are today. Made you
Right.
a good, better person.
Absolutely. Maybe you respect people. I pray a lot to this day.
Mm-hmm.
And when I see some Vietnam vets, guys don't get taken care of, I have no time for that. I give them a hard time. Not the vet.
Right.
I give the VA a hard time. We waste money every day on people that do nothing for your country, and you're not taking care of these vets over here. They're fighting with you. It took me almost 4 years to get my disability. And congressmen and all that, you shouldn't have to do that.
No. Not for a veteran who's went over and put their life on the
right.
line for
You
this
can
country.
you can do the service and never leave Camden or Fort Dix.
Yeah.
But you got a combat veteran that has PTSD or has a limp and can't live with a woman and you're not taking care of him, no excuse. No excuse.
Amen.
And then when we veterans that have fought for our country and fought for our benefits see the money this government, excuse my French, pisses away for people that do nothing for this country, it makes me sick. I don't care who the president, I don't care who Congress is, but that's not right. You got people then we leave people behind in Afghanistan. Think of us Vietnam vets, what we thought of that deal. Oh, come on. Right. No excuse. None whatsoever. Leave that material and leave no excuse.
I bet at that point you would have gone over yourself and gotten it.
Come on, I'm ready. Come on, give me that gun.
Yeah.
I'm a little chubbier. I don't have to run. I'll get them out. I'll help you.
Yeah. No, and
we had a hard time getting out of Vietnam, if you remember.
Yes.
We were coming off the roof.
Yes.
That was my squadron, not me, because I was already home. But my squadron was some of those last helicopters taking people off the roof.
Yes.
No excuse for that. Come on. Want to go to war, go to war. Don't go pansy-assing at it.
Yeah. So when you're over and then you're not flying you're not flying your missions or your resupplies or anything like that. what are you doing?
30 days of mess hall duty.
Ooh.
Us enlisted guys had to sooner or later you either got guard duty or mess hall duty.
And you pulled mess duty?
I pulled mess duty. Other than that, I was flying.
Okay. So not a lot of downtime, not a lot of time for rec.
We got some 5 days R&R sometimes.
Okay.
How about this story? After 90 days, we're in Vietnam, and the light bulb came on and said, you know what? We never took these guys to jungle training. Oh. We're out there flying, so they started flying us to Manila, Philippines, for 5 days for jungle training.
Essentially survival training?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep,
If you
exactly.
have to pitch.
It was
right.
It was just a vacation from combat.
Yeah. And by that time, you probably had already figured out what you had to do.
Oh, believe me.
Without the training.
Except then like eating the snails and the bugs and the stuff like that, and being out there. But it was good. It was useful. But that's how kind of screwed up it was. That wait a minute, the light bulb. Why didn't we go to jungle training on the way over? Hello.
Right.
But whatever. It's the way the government works.
Yes.
So that was 30 days of mess hall duty, and other than that, now if my helicopter went down, let's say for an inspection or an engine change, a time issue, then plan A is the crew chief would not fly. But crew chief would be working on it
Okay.
and trying to get it back up. And so, some guys didn't want to fly as much as they could. Myself, I would fly. Those guys are out there in the jungle. I had the attitude, I'm here for you, buddy. I got a hot cot here. Hopefully I'll get a hot shower at night.
Yeah.
And I got a chow hall. You're out there in the jungle. Whatever it needs, you need, I'm coming. I'll be there for you any time of the day.
It's that whole esprit de corps and the teamwork. And
Absolutely.
now, were you assigned, barring any instances or damage, to the same helicopter?
Yes.
You had your own helicopter?
We had a big meeting about that. We suggested that and thought that the best, because you might be a, excuse the expression, shitbird crew chief,
Yeah.
and I get on there and it breaks or something goes wrong. I could be a shitbird crew chief and somebody else takes my helicopter. But I tried to fly. If my helicopter was flying, I flew with it. We only needed so many hours a month to get flight pay.
Okay.
And let's say I get the minimum, I don't remember what the minimum was. Let's say it's 15 hours a month. You get X number of dollars flight pay. If you fly 100 hours a month, you get the same amount of flight pay.
Okay.
So I was saving all my flight pay to buy a Corvette when I got home.
Nice.
So I flew whenever I could fly.
Okay.
I didn't want to be back at the base. I didn't want to be in chow hall. I didn't want to do that mess duty. The bad guys are out there. My Marines are out there. They're worse off than me. If they need me, I'm there for it.
And what rank were you at this time?
I
What rank did you have?
got E5 sergeant.
Okay.
I went over as a corporal, came out as a sergeant. They tried to promote us, take care of us, because we took care of them.
Absolutely.
Couple friends got shot, got killed. You know, that set me back a while, but they wouldn't have wanted me to stop flying. That's why I figured.
Yeah.
So I flew.
I mean, that was your job, you know, and that's what you signed up to do. I mean, why not do it the best and the most often?
If I was going to go over the hill, I should have went over the hill before I left Santa Ana.
Yeah.
If I was going to quit. So I figured I'm going to do it. I'm not a hero, but I'm going to do it. I love another quick story. Those Navy guys love Marines on their ship. We would go down. We were on the flight deck, obviously, with all our helicopters. We would go down and we'd say, "Where's the gym or where's the chow hall?" You know those squids tell the Marines, you go down this hall and you go up this ladder, you turn left and you go down a ladder, then you turn right. They had us all over that ship, and we said, "No more. We're going to find our own way." We didn't ask those Navy guys for much. The flight deck Navy guys, the best, very good. We always took care of them. They took care of us, but the other Navy guys, they didn't like Marines on their ship.
No.
It was their ship, their home.
Well, probably the same sense of ownership that you had with your helicopter. You know, if you could probably understand it that way.
Yeah. Oh, we understood it. We just didn't like it.
No,
Yeah.
and there's always the rivalry between the services.
Without a
you know?
doubt. Without a doubt.
So I know you touched on it. I know you touched on it a little bit before, but can you tell me what your homecoming experience was like?
No, it wasn't good.
No, okay.
It wasn't good.
But you did come into California, and then.
And then I went home and tried to decompress and
Okay.
got a little wild and didn't get locked up or anything, but I didn't know what I was going to do.
Right.
I didn't want to go back and re-enlist because I knew where I was going to go. Experienced Marine, I know where you're going to go. So
Crew chief.
I got a job, and luckily met a blind date woman that fixed my butt up and got me to college, got me retirement. I'm glad I wised up.
What did you go to college for?
Accounting.
Accounting. Well, that's a left turn. I'm working on helicopters.
When I got out, I started a home improvement business in Ocean City, New Jersey.
Okay.
I knew I wasn't going to make it with that, so I went to Stockton College, a state college, got an accounting degree. I like bookwork. I didn't want to be a mechanic the rest of my life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm kind of anal, and I have pretty good handwriting, so I went and got an accounting degree. My GI Bill, if I took honors and got A's, the GI Bill would pay for extra courses that I could take for free. So I got done in 3 years. I got my BS in accounting, and then got an auditing job with the state of New Jersey, and ended up retiring as a budget manager for Department of Military and Veteran Affairs. So I was the manager. I ran the National Guard's budget of New Jersey. I ran 3 nursing homes budgets in New Jersey. I managed all the money. I worked at OMB in Treasury. I worked there and stayed close to the money. Got out of helicopters.
Yeah. With a lot of knowledge about them.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
That was a waste, but all that knowledge I try to convey to the younger guys that I crew chiefed with for maybe it was, I want to say 10 months before I got out. I was in North Carolina, and they put us Vietnam vet guys with all their crew chiefs as much as they could to absorb as much knowledge as we were willing to give them. And believe me, I gave them everything I could.
Yeah.
I wasn't staying in. I was getting out. I didn't need it. I didn't want it. You got it, because here's what you're going to do probably before I'm out of North Carolina.
And it served you well doing the way you did it, so why not pass that on?
I'm here to talk to you.
Yeah.
Don't be a hero. Just do this.
Yeah.
Don't be a hero. There's a lot of heroes out there, but they're dead. I'm here to tell you, don't be a hero.
So if you were sitting down with a couple of high school age kids who were thinking about joining the military,
Absolutely.
what kind of advice would you have for them? What would you say to them?
Join the military. I don't care if it's the Air Force, National Guard. Keep your mouth shut. Get as much out of it as you can and take it all in. Get educated. Take it all in. Get the experience, the camaraderie, the wherewithal, the maturity. I don't like to do it anymore. We go to high schools. Us veterans, I belong to a veterans organization, Vietnam Vets of America. And we go to high schools, and we go to their Memorial Day where they put us in a room and the classes change and we talk to the students. I'm amazed first question I have for the students is how many parents in this room are veterans, have served in the military. Maybe not a veteran, have served in the military. You'd be amazed how few hands go up. So that tells me that when we were going, most everybody went.
Yeah.
If you were 18 years old and not going to college, you were going in the Army, you were going somewhere. And how people don't want to go in the military.
What do you think that is nowadays?
I think for one, they want to go to college. They want to get all that goody stuff in college, and not do anything with the Marines, military.
Yeah.
Why not make every high school student give the country 2 years? Don't have to be a Marine. You don't have to go to Paris Island.
Right.
You don't have to go to Vietnam. Join the Red Cross. Do something volunteering 2 years, then go to college. Don't go to college right at 18 out of high school, because you're just going to get brainwashed and sucked in by that thinking. And your country is going to be going down the tubes in the meantime. Give something to your country. Red Cross, something, anything.
The way it used to be.
The way it should be.
The way it should be, yes.
I mean, Israel arms their women.
Yeah.
Come on. Give something back to your country before you go. And then let them pay for your college. Don't get your college debt and get it relieved, as this butthead's doing. Go get your college and earn it. And get matured. Get maturity. You don't have to go to a combat zone. But get some experience and maturity. I mean, I think I was 18, 19 in Vietnam combat. I didn't belong there. I shouldn't have been there. But did I mature?
Yeah.
And to this day, I'm a better man for it.
Amen.
I own my home. I don't have a debt because I'm organized. I earned it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking it.
Yeah, absolutely. How has your wartime experience affected your life?
Other than the maturity,
Other than the maturity?
it made me realize how vulnerable the human body is. Like I said, when you pick up a guy's boot and his foot's in it, and he's in a bag, you think, God bless me. I'm still alive, I'm still moving, I'm still up. I might be in a handicapped cart, but I'm still breathing and he's not. And he didn't want to be there.
Right.
And I just think that life doesn't owe me. I'm even, I'm square.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just living life to the fullest without getting in any trouble. Love my wife, love my family. And I think I needed it. The Army may have done the same thing, or the Air Force. I probably should have went to the Air Force. I wanted to fly.
Okay.
I didn't want to get that dirty. But then again, why do I want to do that when I want to be in the best? And I had a recruiter who was great. I mean, yeah, he brainwashed me, but he ran with me before boot camp.
Right.
He taught me how to run. And he says, here again, you're not the biggest Marine. We're going to make you a Marine, but you're not big. You're going to have a hard time down there in Paris Island.
That personal attention.
Oh, yeah. It meant so much.
It's worlds.
And I ran and ran and ran, and I impressed people. I wasn't an athlete. I was just matter of fact, I was like a cheerleader in high school. I couldn't play sports. I wasn't big. I wasn't heavy. I wasn't athletic. But he made me prepared, and I went right straight through Paris Island. Keep your mouth shut and keep running. And it's just what I did.
Good things to remember for a lot of things in life.
Absolutely. Then it's funny, I've been back to Paris Island, so different. So absolutely so different. Because you envision, I'll never get off this island. But you get down there afterwards and it's small, it's little.
It doesn't look as scary as it did when you were 18.
They can yell all they want now.
Right.
The rifle range, when we went to the rifle range, I thought it was 1,800 miles away. We marched there. Well, he had us in the woods and the swamp and stuff.
Right.
I mean, we were just going around in circles. Well, we didn't know that. So we drove back. I took my wife to the rifle range. It's like around the corner. It's just around the block.
I don't remember it being this close.
It was funny. They made me a shooter. They wanted me to be a sniper. Did I say that?
Yeah.
I told you that. Okay. That's good. So I matured with that. And if you mess with my family, you're in trouble.
Amen.
I'm not big, but you mess with my family, you're in trouble. Don't come breaking down my door either.
So if, say, 200 years down the line, your great-great-great-great-grandchildren are watching this video.
I want them to go in.
You want them to go in. Is that what's the one thing they want you would want them to know about your military service? Aside from go in.
Do something for your country. Do something for you. Do something for your country. And take it in. Take it in, don't fight it. Take it in, hold it, groom it, cultivate it, and let it grow in your heart. I have no tattoos. My tattoo's on my heart. When you tear my heart out, you're going to see the eagle globe and anchor. It's right there.
Amen.
That's it.
Is there anything else you would like to document today?
No, that's it. I'm thinking. You got my lump in my throat. I'm good.
Mr. Breij, it has been truly an honor and a privilege to sit down and talk with you today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your service and welcome home.
Thanks for the time.